Okay, so do a quick one here because I'm making some progress and I kind of don't want to slow down while I'm on a roll or else I'll probably never get back to it. So, pretty well mocked up now. Left to do is, all the irritating stuff, the soldering and some whatever, little final adjustments, accommodate things like the receiver and the BEC. Stuff like that. So it kind of looks like this. You've seen these. What I thought was kind of ridiculous was the wing that comes with these things. The rear wing is so diminutive, over the back here. I mean, you can kind of see that. It's just a little wing here. If you look at it straight on, of course I have to make a bracket for it or a brace for it. It's going to look kind of like this, I guess. Right? And, one thing that dawns on me is that it's like right in obstructed airflow, so you're getting very minimal effect on the wing, probably no downforce at all because it's hidden by this big thing. We could extend some braces and mount it up higher out of the wind, out of that turbulence. Then you wind up getting something that looks maybe like this. Ridiculous. So I started to mock up a wing, some aluminum, bent it a little bit. I'm going to cut it out. I mean, you might be able to see design in here, so I'll cut that out so it looks a little better than this, but I'm thinking something like something like this, or it'll be a little higher. Point being, it's kind of big, but point being is I really want to get some downforce on this thing, so maybe it looks like this. I'll paint it, of course, so it's not going to look like this stupid metal, and it might blend in better with the body. I don't know. Really struggling with that one, but imagine this high edge. It's not going to be squared off. It's going to have a nice little curve here, and maybe it'll look okay. Maybe I'll mount it upside down. Might be better this way. I can instead cut some wheel arches out of it, but again, it's got to be high enough up so it's out in the clear air. So that's a TPD. Let me take, put my freaking glasses on here, and let me take this top off. Again, I just mocked it up so you can see where we are with everything. And I put the top on because I wanted to make sure that all the little electronics that I'm building up underneath fit under the shell, and it does. So I'm pretty happy with that. You can see I took the tires on and other stuff, so get that out of the way. All right. So I'm thinking, these pieces came with it. This was, I guess, the electronics box when it was a gas model. I'm going to use it to cover and protect like the receiver. So we got a little receiver in here. So, you guys can see that. So I was thinking it will go, and since this fits under the shell, I'll just put it there. And then, of course, I got a big BEC somewhere. Oh, it's over here. Plus, I'll raise this a little bit so you can see it better. So then we got this BEC. This is a Western Digital's high voltage, like 14 volts are coming through this thing. I can adjust it from 8.2, 7.4, 6 volts, or 5.2. So it seemed to be the perfect VDC to run the servos. And that's what I'll do. And it can fit underneath this guy, and I'll put that over here. So there you got some electronic, some protection. I'm just going to leave it out in the open, but I might as well use those pieces. And I'll just tap a couple of little screw holes into the top of this thing and bolt it down when done. So I'll get those out of the way for a sec. All right, then the other stuff, you can kind of see this. I hope you can. Starting at the back, I guess. I didn't talk about this earlier, but this piece here is I made this. I needed to relocate the brake servo, which this guy is. I'm using an HBL 599 from MKS. And I actually have it connected, so that's kind of cool. So like I said, I don't know if, before I mentioned that I was going to drive it with a, I don't know if I can tilt this camera down without the, so this camera is one of those crazy ones that has a gyroscopic gimbal. So it makes it really hard to adjust it. It just keeps correcting itself. I'll have to do it on the software. So meanwhile, we'll just kind of aim it like that. Let's see. I think I can point this thing down over here. Take my glasses off because it's far. When you get old, you can't see up close. Point it down a bit. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Maybe tilt it over this way. Yeah, that's better. Maybe raise this a little bit so we get a better down angle on it. I'm going to show you that has an up, an up angle. But anyway, all right. So this steering servo, I can definitely put it in. Oh yeah, that's nice. All right. I guess this is 4K, recording in 4K. Is it still? Yep, live. Okay. So yeah, made a bracket here. There's room for 2 servos. I decided to go ahead and make one to fit 2. This is where the wing used to mount, so I'll have these holes. I'll tap these in. I drilled them, but I didn't tap them yet, to mount the brackets that will support whatever wing I use at the end of the day. I had to, like I said, create this receiver for the cables, and I'm deciding that I would just control the front wheels. So there's the front wheel spinning. Let me get on the other side of this thing. So how that works, so there's my front wheel spinning, and then you hit the servo, and it brakes and releases. So mechanical, front wheels are rolling, both of them. Well, let's move in the right direction for a change, and then brake. So that's kind of cool. I don't know if you can see that. Brake. So the servo's going to do the front wheels, I'm going to let the motor do the back, and maybe I'll add the back brakes to it, or maybe I'll remove them altogether. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. So that's where that servo ended up, on a custom bracket hanging off the back instead of in the side of the frame where it used to be. What else do I have? I mentioned I had created that motor pieces. Cat pack, capacitor pack storage, so he's going to slide right in here. And actually, wipe him off a little bit. You want some kind of insulation around this. You don't want the vibration to, really beat up the aluminum and the fluid, whatever the heck is in there. So I'll definitely, sorry, I'm over here. Figured I would add this to the video. So because it's a cool thing, how do you dampen that and not use a lot of space? So this is electrical tape, but it's a very thick and very stretchy, spongy electrical tape. So, excuse me while I get an X-Acto. So I'm just going to put a piece of it around the outside of the cap pack, and then I'll shove it in. It'll pretty much stay in there. Should. Wow, what a dull fucking X-Acto knife. A lot of lighting in here today. Okay, so this is going to be a longer video than I thought it was going to be. I just have fun doing them. So nobody's watching them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so I get this big piece of tape. I'll go around the 2 sides. 1, 2, 1. That's 1, 2, and a little bit up. That should do it. Be more than enough. Please cut, please cut. Alright. Hacked through it. Real hack job. So, let's see. Just going to pop it on. Sorry, I'll move over this way. And what we're doing is just getting this isolation, adding a little bit of insulation around it, and some spongy dampening. Like, this is pretty nice. It's electrical tape, so it's very flexible. Does everything we want. And now we got some dampening and protection. Minimize the vibration a little bit. Of course, I didn't have enough room to put anything really cool like a sponginess, foam padding in there. But now there is just enough clearance. Should be. See, it's much more firm and stood in there, so that's kind of good. It's not going to rattle around in there, and I can stop it right there. Okay, that's done. I mean, I'm going to leave this. Of course, these connectors go right into the ESC, which is hidden by this battery at the moment, but it go right in there, and maybe I'll push it back a little bit more. That's great. All right, permanent. what else I want to show? Okay, so the last thing I want to show you so you can see how all the motor is wedged in there, the ESC is wedged in there. Once I cut these things down, I'll be able to solder them in, and they'll be inside the body. So that's important. Wouldn't be able to close the body if I did it out here like this, obviously. How does that look? See, sticking way out. I did get this fancy. Can't really show it to you. Solderer. So it's big, and it's 400 watts, and it burns at like 850 degrees, no problem, with lots and lots of heat. So when you go ahead and you apply the heat, I'm going to get a really good solder. It's going to, wet the whole, all the strands in the middle and the core of this wire. So that's why I was waiting for that guy to do the soldering. Anyway, all right. Okay, so the thing I want to show you in the front, I was talking about this last time, where I guess I'm going to lower this, and hopefully lowering the height shouldn't make a difference here. All right. Now, I got this stupid wing on the front. I don't know why I wanted to see what it looks like, so I did it. So we were talking last time about how the shocks are stabilized through a support that goes through here. So when you get some shock absorber movement, both it engages the other shock and stabilizes that whole effect. And I want to preserve that. So we had made those little cam kind of things. What I was trying to describe is to fit the battery in up here, which is where the other steering servo used to go. I had to flip the thing in there. That I guess the control arm, the steering control arm. I can't really show you this with my hands in the way, but yeah, let's see if I can get them out of the way a little bit. So you can see now the steering, and maybe I can just show you with one hand. There you go. So in here, I got the steering going on. I have to do something about the, lock to lock. All right, so that's how that's going to work. And I had to create a support for that, a holder for that servo. Deep down inside, let me see how I can point this. So there's a little piece in there that I was trying to describe last time. I can point to it. Because that crazy steering linkage was too low to the deck, and the slope of the bottom of the frame here coming up interfered with the steering control arms. You could see that would happen. So I had made a little piece to lift it up, and it's that little kind of pyramid-shaped guy. I don't know how I can point to it. Nope, I'm on top of it. There it is. Whoop. Let me see. That's it down. Get down lower. This guy. So there's that little thing in there. I don't know if you can see it. So it is now, this steering linkage is mounted on top of that. There's a hole, it's screwed down, it's bolted on tight, locked tight, of course, blue. So now we got that happening. What goes on next is this servo. This is the steering servo. Very powerful guy, 800 inch ounces, something like that. And I think it's like a 0.16 seconds, 0 to 60 degrees. As far as speed, it's not the fastest thing out there, but definitely fast enough for a 5th scale street car. Anyway, this guy's going to go in this way, and it'll be screwed in through some holes at, see if I can get one in there right now. Leave it like that. What is that? Too big. Maybe number 3. Number 3. Nope. That's Torx. This guy maybe. Perfect. All right. So I got to move the wheels out of the way. Anyway, there's a couple holes in here. They're already ready to go. This piece is tapped. I'll probably screw it in by hand. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see much of this with my hand in the way, but maybe I can get one of these things screwed in somehow. There we go. That's in. You'll see it in a sec. That's in. Lefty, right? This guy's in. Where'd my other screw go? I had another screw. There it is. Of course, it'll get some Loctite, but I'm not going to permanently stuff it in there. But let's get out of the way. Come on, you. I'm not a left-handed guy. All right. So now he's in. Of course, the wire's going to have to run back here along here. I'll clamp it down. Oh, I have a cool little spot for my ESC switch. There's the switch. And he fits right in here perfectly. So that's kind of a coincidence, right? I can't claim that I did this. Couple little taps. Nice little location for the switch. All right. So now with that in there, I would be able to, I hope you can see this. See how those steering control linkages now connect nicely to this guy. I'm not going to waste your time by connecting those and then showing you how the system works, but you get the idea, right? All right. What else do I have to show? Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's pretty much it. We covered the brakes, how they work. Front brakes only. See how that locks in there? I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, this guy's in the way. Yeah, that guy's in the way. Oh, hey, that's another thing. So, the rear suspension has the same deal with the stabilizer. This is the stock. This is, how it is initially. I didn't have to redo this back piece. So when you can see as the rear shocks go up, let me hold it down here. So the rear shocks go up, the rear, it works at that suspension. I'm going in front of you. So this one I'm noticing, there's like almost no engagement of that other suspension. Well, that's not true. There is. Okay. I was just thinking I might lower these a bit to make it a little more rigid, engage the other side a little earlier for stability and additional suspension. I don't want it wheeling all over the place necessarily. Anyway, that's about it. All soldering is left to do. Mount receiver and BEC. Come up with a wing solution. Do something to secure the batteries in there. This guy's pretty snug because of this, so I'll probably just cut a little hole in the deck and run just one of those Velcro straps around here. This one a little different. He's got a bit of wiggle room. Let me raise this thing back up. Got a little bit of wiggle room here. So I'll stuff some foam in and I'll figure out how I want to lock it down. Probably just some Velcro. I don't want to go crazy on inventing something for that either. I had to make some of these, just use screws for posts. I had to lift the cables up a little bit because it's crazy. You can see this is almost like a design flaw. The way the brakes work, and I can't really change this. It doesn't seem to be something that is user changeable. So they're very low to the control, or the steering, what do you want to call that? This is kind of like the, I don't know, what's control arm. And you can see that they contact, actually, you can hear it. Not much I can do about that. aside from disabling the front brakes and just taking it out. But, you know, I mean, I'm still getting lock to lock. And the stops are down here on this. I don't know how you're going to see that. There's stops down here. Yeah, I guess you can kind of see that. These are the stops. They come out the bottom of this thing. I guess I could remove those. But I don't think I'll need more than that. Anyway, I'll cut it right there. I just wanted to capture that little piece before I continued bolting in the parts, and then, you know, things get impossible to see. So there you go. Next time. Till next time. Until next time.